All right, what's up, guys? We're back in the shop today. Today's Saturday, so I don't know where I kind of left y'all hanging, where we left off at in the last video, but I wanted to give y'all an update of what we finally got accomplished on the truck and the build so far. So last set we were working on was we had the tractor and we had the transmission. We were working on getting that stabbed in, and so just kind of to recap it. We got it stabbed in. We got these ratchet straps holding right now. So today we're going to be putting in the cross member and bolting on the transfer case. But we got all the bell housing bolts torqued down. Got the hydraulic port taped up as well as where the starter goes. So it wasn't too bad. It kind of fought us a little bit. There's a little, you got to be spot on with the input shaft going through 2 discs on the clutch, but the alignment tool did a good job. So we got that stabbed in there, and yeah, so today we're just going to be working on putting cross member on. So I did go ahead and get this upgrade part right here. So this is the transmission mount, kind of the dampener that sits on the cross member, transmission cross member. And so here's this. It's real solid, way better than a factory part. And then here is our factory part. And you see how worn out that is. It's got weathering cracks in the rubber part. And then right here, you can see it's actually split all the way down. So I didn't want to go back with that stock part. I was reading on the Facebook forums, and they said that this part right here, that is, I think it's for a Allison transmission bracket, but it needs a little bit of Dremel work inside the cross member. You got to notch it out just a tiny bit, but other than that, yeah, just some minor modifications, and we'll be able to run this unit over the stock unit. Excited for that. We got all our hardware for the cross member. I got to get the plate that bolts onto the bottom of the transmission right here. So I got that painted, so that's outside, and we will get all the parts put together, and then we'll start putting cross member on, and then we'll set the transfer case in, and we'll call it good. Okay, so now we got all the hardware. So this will bolt like this on the transmission, and then this part right here sits on it like that. So we got good alignment on that one. We're a little off on that one, so we're going to take a little die grinder, take some off on the outside here, outside there, and extend it a little bit, and we should be good to go to line that up. And then to line these up on here, we're going to have to set everything, and it's a little bit off, so we're going to take a die grinder and just notch a little bit out right there and a little bit out right there, depending on which way this sits in. I do have a buddy's truck right here. This is Noah's truck. It's a 01 single cab 6-speed, so 4-wheel drive. I'm using that truck as reference. When he's over here another day, we'll do a full in-depth video of the history behind that truck, where you got it from, and kind of the way it's spec'd out from factories. But yeah, that's going to be the reference truck moving forward, so it makes putting this truck back together a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster. Because being how long ago it was taking this one apart, will not remember where everything, how it goes back together. So we got that truck for reference, and we got all our transmission parts right here, cross member, everything else, and then transfer case is actually sitting right over here. So we got that, and we'll be moving forward. So I'm gonna put you on a tripod and get to work. Okay, so now we got all the hardware. So this will bolt like this on the transmission, and then this part right here sits on it like that. So we got good alignment on that one. We're a little off on that one, so we're going to take a little die grinder, take some off on the outside here, outside there, and extend it a little bit, and we should be good to go to line that up. And then to line these up on here, we're gonna have to set everything, and it's a little bit off, so we're gonna take a die grinder and just notch a little bit out right there and a little bit out right there, depending on which way this sits in. I do have a buddy's truck right here. This is Noah's truck. It's a 01 single cab 6-speed, so 4-wheel drive. I'm using that truck as reference. When he's over here another day, we'll do a full in-depth video of the history behind that truck, where you got it from, and kind of the way it's spec'd out from factories. But yeah, that's going to be the reference truck moving forward, so it makes putting this truck back together a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster. Because being how long ago it was, taking this one apart, will not remember where everything, how it goes back together. So we got that truck for reference, and we got all our transmission parts right here, cross member, everything else. And then transfer case is actually sitting right over here. So we got that, and we'll be moving forward. So I'm gonna put you on a tripod and get to work. All right, so we got that bolted up. Nothing too bad. You see it? Now we got to work on getting the aftermarket piece, the transmission damper that I bought. We got to notch out just a little bit right there. I'll get the die grinder and notch out a little bit right there. So I'm gonna go set everything up in the vise, and then yeah, we'll get those notched out and go from there. All right, guys, so we got that all notched out. I actually have it on, not tightened down, but if you look under here, so all I did was just notch out a little bit on the outside going that way, on that side, and the outside going that way. And so we just need to bolt her up tight. And then this is what mounts directly to the crossmember going across. We'll get the crossmember set, bolt holes right here, bolt holes right here. And then we have a second one that runs across, goes underneath the transfer case. So let me get these all tightened up, and then we'll keep on moving right along. Well, it is a hot one today. I'm sure you can see the beads of sweat rolling off my face, but with that being said, we got it on. So, got that torqued down, So, there's basically what it's going to be like. We'll see what the height looks like. We do have adjustability or some play in the motor mount. So, I don't know if this mount sits as high or as low as a stock one, but when we get the crossmember in here, we'll be able to see what we need to do, and we can set it down on it. But yeah, let's start getting the crossmember put in. All right, so I'm not sure how difficult this is going to be. Whenever we got the crossmember out of the truck, taking it apart, it definitely had some tension on it, and it sprung out, boom, like that. So we got to see what we're working with. So we'll get this all buttoned up. We'll get the bolts fit in. So yeah, here's all the hardware. We'll get this all bolted in and aligned, and then we'll see exactly where we need. We'll get it aligned, bolted in, and then we'll get our die grinder again, because we're gonna have to notch out one of these two right here, depending on where the transmission dampener sits. So let's get that all lined up, and then we'll take a look and see what we need to do from there. All right, so getting this crossmember in, it looks like it needs to go in before the transmission because of the way the angle of the frame slanted, but that doesn't stop anyone from trying the way we did it. It's a little sketchy, but what we did was we took a jack stand, tripod, contact point, contact point, contact point. So this isn't going anywhere. 2x6, and we just stretched the frame apart a little bit, and then right now it's just sitting in there. So we're gonna pick it back up, start the bolt holes, or start the bolts, and then we're gonna slowly let it off to make sure everything's lining up, and then from there we should be good to go. Fought us a little bit, tried it a couple of different ways, but realized that we had this jack stand, and so we're putting it to good use. And right now it looks like we're gonna be able to get it. So I'll update y'all once we get it in. All right, hey guys, so we got it in. I'll show you exactly what we had to do to it. But just looking at it right here, this is from the top side, but we'll get underneath and take a better look at it with some light. So here's the back side and everything. So it looks good. You can see all the way around it. Everything's tight. It did line up pretty good. Looking under here, we did have to take a die grinder, and I kind of routed out just a little bit of a radius in there, a little bit of a radius in here, and then these are the hardware that came with the transmission dampener. So everything bolts up good. We have now the full weight. We now have the full weight of the transmission sitting on the cross member. And next step is we're gonna get this transfer case in here. But since this is a 12 valve frame, it does not have another hole drilled in the frame for the second cross member. So we're gonna have to get the skid plate that goes underneath here, bolt that tight onto here, so we get a reference point on where we need to drill a hole, matching up with the 2 on the skid plate. So that's kind of the idea right now. So we're gonna get to work on that, kind of mock everything up, and then mark where the holes need to be drilled, and then we can put everything, starting with the transfer case, back on. So that's the plan moving forward, and yeah. Okay, catch it back up here. We got kind of the skid plate and the other cross member kind of all mocked up. Looking at it right here. So we got these 2 right here tight, and we got the 4 right here tight. But on this 12 valve frame, it did have 1 bolt that lined up, 1 bolt hole in the frame, but we need to drill another one right there on each side right here. So if you come down under here, you can see that there's no hole right there for the second hole on that back cross member, but everything's mocked up, everything fit just fine. So we're looking good there. I'm gonna go ahead and get the drill and drill bit started, and we're gonna drill a hole through the frame. I'll put y'all on a tripod for that. Sorry for not getting the most coverage. My grandpa showed up, and so we were talking to him, and he was kind of helping us here and there. So yeah, I'll be sure to start filming a little bit more of doing the actual work instead of just talking to y'all. So that's the plan. I'll get the drill bits ready and set y'all up on a tripod. Well, we got them drilled. A little hot. The metal shavings were a little hot. I'm landing on my fingers, but now we're just gonna get this taken off so I can throw a 7/16 drill bit right here and then drill out the rest of these, and then we'll be able to bolt everything back together. So going pretty smooth, working hard today. It's what it takes to get this stuff done. So we're gonna knock this part out and then move on to the transfer case. All right, so we got the hardware. We painted some hardware, nuts and bolts and everything to match the black powder coat on the frame. So as we're letting that dry, we're actually gonna set the transfer case in, get that all bolted up, take a look at everything, see how everything lines up, and then we'll go back with the skid plate and the cross member. But looking at it, I was able to drill this out right here. You can see right there. And so that's just 1/2 inch, and then I kind of wallered that out to a 1/2 inch. So what we're gonna do is I kind of lost, or I don't know where I put it, the hardware for the second cross member. So we're gonna get some grade 8 hardware, 1/2 inch, and just use that. Go with brand new nuts and bolts for that. So that's kind of the plan there. But I'm gonna set y'all back up on a tripod, and we're gonna set this transfer case in. So
I was supposed to pick this up and hand it to you.
or you want to be facing the camera? I don't care.
Here, I'll try to pick it up.
Hold your side. All right, so we got the transfer case mounted. Here it is right here. Super simple. Had my dad help me just kind of line everything up, torqued everything down. We're gonna kind of repaint all where this has been chipped. So it's been sitting there for quite a while. That was one of the first things I did was get the transmission sent off. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and all these are torqued down. And then looking at it from the other side, we have everything the way we want it. So turned out pretty good. You can see the cross member, and then this is transfer case. So really all you need is a drive shaft back to the axle. Still need to replace a yoke on that. And then there's our front drive shaft right here. So drivetrain's coming in pretty good. We just need to get the rest of everything kind of buttoned up on the cross member and skid plate side, and then we'll be good to go. So we're not too much longer from closing this video out, and then I'll do kind of a one final shot so y'all can see everything. But yeah, we're gonna get this transfer case done, and we'll call it good. All right, hey guys, so we're done working on the truck for today. We got everything buttoned up. Did a little couple of odds and ends things kind of off camera. We ran the brake lines through the control arms and got those bolted on with the bracket. And then we also tightened up the pitman arm nut because I knew that I needed to get that done. So we ended up dropping the sway bar down. Dropping the sway bar down and then tightening up that nut right inside there. So, but other than that, everything for the transfer case and skid plate cross members is all done. I'm glad we got that knocked out today. So it looks really good, really clean. Might have to do some touch-up paint. We still need to, tomorrow, we're gonna go to the hardware store, grab some 1/2 inch for tightening up these two. But other than that, she is done. While I'm at the hardware store, I'm gonna also get U-joints for the front drive shaft. I did take off the yoke on the rear drive shaft, or rear axle, sorry. And because this little tab right here is very thin, see it right there, compared to what it needs to be. So, and that had getting a lot of vibration in the truck when I drove it back from buying it and then just driving around about 50 miles an hour. It would it quit vibrating so much. And then once you got up to 65, there's a hard vibration in the rear end. So Just looking to take care of all that stuff, driveline issues. But yeah, that will conclude today's video. Got a lot of stuff done, a lot of hard work. That cross member was not the easiest thing to deal with and install. But yeah, so keep following along, and I'll keep on cranking out these videos. Yeah, I'm happy with the progress I've made today. We just need to keep on chugging away on the build, and it'll slowly come together for us. Stay tuned and smash that like button and follow for more progress, and I'll see you guys in the next one.